I gotta start off by saying, don't go to eBay and pay more than $25 for these figures, at least especially not now. Maybe a while from now when they're sold out. They're just starting to come out. And I notice a lot of people, since they're slowly trickling into GameStop stores for the holiday shopping seasons, you know, Black Friday and whatnot, and then Christmas, a lot of people are putting these on eBay as if they're so hard to get and they're going to be so rare. That might be the case down the line, but not now. They're slowly just releasing. So if you want these, wait till you see them in GameStop, or just go to GameStop's website. You can buy the Cuddle Team Leader and the Skull Trooper, and you can even grab these two, the Black Knight and the Raptor, on pre-order. There's a whole second wave coming out. I think this is this has a lot of potential, but this is a Christmas present for my daughter. She's gonna go absolutely crazy, and I love Halloween and I love this skin, so I figure I picked this one up for me, and we'll take a look at it. He might end up on my shelf. Hell, if my daughter wants the whole set, she might even get them all. Not sure, but the other two, I don't know if they're coming out yet for Christmas, but I thought we'd crack them open and just take a look at them quick, just real quick, because if you want an in-depth review, you could check that out on the main channel, Make Path Presents. I'll review both individually, but let's crack them open and just take a look up close and see how they are, the you know, sculpt and paint and whatnot. Actually, before, because I probably won't show the boxes in the review since I have it open, the box and how McFarlane Toys have this going is great. I opened them up to check them out. So he comes with a stand. You'll notice yours will have a black stand in there, but the box, it's absolutely great. Large window display. It's got colors that pop. You know, it's got images that pop. I think they did a great job putting the box itself together as a display. For inbox collectors, I'm not sure how many people will be displaying these in box. The only gripe is McFarlane, sometimes they will change something if they think it's cooler, instead of being movie accurate. Like they'll change, you know, I don't know, a little bit of how the a character's face looks. When it comes to certain things in the past, I've known they tweak things. I don't know why, but one thing that's most likely a gimmick. This isn't her harvesting tool. This is actually the Bright Bomber's harvesting tool, and you notice she's in Wave 2. I don't think that was an accident. I think they are getting... it's a gimmick where you got to have the complete set. You know you're going to buy the Cuddle Team Leader. If you weren't going to get her, you're definitely going to get her to get the harvesting tool that goes with Bright Bomber. So I think that's kind of a grimy gimmick, because if you were an older collector or even a younger collector and you wanted to save them in package, it would be cool to have the Bright Bomber in box with her damn harvesting tool. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I think McFarlane Toys just needs to make these, make them good, painted good, you know, highly articulated, just as they're doing. Stop with the gimmicks. Fans will buy them. And if that's not a gimmick, then that's a massive oversight. You just don't know what you're doing. Not totally. Anyway, because once you get them out of the box, you can pretty much switch them around. It doesn't matter. The back blings all fit, and then the guns, you can trade them. At the harvesting tools, you could trade them once you get them out when you put them on display. I didn't want to crack these open just yet because I didn't want to have that plastic ripping your eardrums apart while I was talking. So I'll shut up and we'll open them up. I did want to say, if you wanted to display them with their boxes, let's say on a shelf, your shelf is too deep and you have wasted space, you can put your boxes there, and they are pretty much the perfect size to have them displayed right in front of, kind of. I'm trying to center it a little so that way you have them a little bit off to the side, each one, and then you can have your, even in front of a little bit, your figure displayed in front of the box. Just a little idea, I don't know, because the boxes do pop with the artwork and everything. All right, so looking at these guys, the sculpt work, the paint work, and the accuracy to the game is pretty damn good. This is the Skull Trooper, and you can even kind of tell he's that certain default with a Skull Trooper skin on him. He even has, and this is actually really good, this is a patch that the default has, and every time they reskin the default in a new skin like this, you'll notice that the patches and stuff just get like skinned over. So it's actually really cool that McFarlane Toys kept that little tiny detail. But I thought that was a neat detail to include. Anyway, here's his face. You can see the paintwork, the sculpt job. That light on it is going to really shine back, but yeah, you can see him. He's got, I mean, crisp paint all throughout his face. And here's his back with his spine and the bones colored in. I always thought this was a Karate Kid, like, homage when this first came out. Anyway, shin guards, one of the coolest touches is if you look close, that's not me beating the hell out of these. They actually add a little bit of silver, I guess it would be dry dusting there. Dry brushing, sorry. Silver dry brushing to give it this metal underneath look, as if it was scraped away from going to your knees and shooting your opponents and whatnot. That's a cool little detail to add in there that they didn't even have to. At a distance, you can't even tell. I must have looked at this guy a few times and I didn't even notice it. And then when you look up close, it's actually purposefully done coming down here and then on the edges. That's a really nice small detail. Anyhow, very articulated. If you want to see the articulation, we're going to go over that on the Make a Path Presents channel. But I just want to show you guys the harvesting tool for this guy is actually one of my favorites in the game. I love the way this looks. It looks like a mix of like old school Western, you know, desert kind of with the skull there. You got the nails in it, the leather, tying it on and then down the handle. So definitely a cool pickaxe. Here's Cuddle Team Leaders. Freaking ridiculous but awesome all at the same time. This is one of the llamas. I guess this would be a unicorn llama. But again, this goes with the Bright Bomber. They'll be making her in Wave 2. And I will definitely be buying one for my daughter because we both love that skin. So I'll probably pick up 2 of her because she can go with the Skull Trooper on my shelf. Here's the, this is the bolt action sniper rifle that goes with the Skull Trooper, or it comes with. You can actually put these with any character you want. Now the only thing I will say is it is a little cartoony, even for Fortnite. And what I mean by that is you have this scope, this front part. I cut my finger a little bit. You have that front part of the scope. It just looks terrible. I mean, that is just awful. I know it's more of a cartoony video game, but that is terrible. It's just like this big, I don't know, man. It looks unfinished. And I will say, all the weapons kind of look a little bit on the blah side. The Scar, don't get me wrong, it's cool. And I think what they were going for was that simple cartoon look, not too realistic, kind of fitting with Fortnite. I don't know, something about the paint though, it just looks a little blah. The Scar looks better than the rifle. I'm sorry, the sniper. Yeah, sniper rifle. I think it's the scope that mainly bothers me, but. And then next up for the back bling, you have, this is for the Cuddle Team Leader. This actually came with the Cuddle Team Leader in the game as well as the figure. And you can kind of tell, I guess a little bit of the paint underneath is pink. And that makes sense because the tab here is pink. So it was molded in pink plastic, I would imagine. And then they just paint over. You would think they would just mold it in black plastic. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to paint it then. I don't know. Maybe that's stupid. Anyway, so it's a little rough going in her back. You can get it in though, and you can also switch the different back blings. This is the one that comes with the Skull Trooper toy. However, I believe this is, who is that girl? It's the girl with the hat. It's like a recon specialist or something. No, it's the girl that looks like a a soldier ninja. You know what I'm saying? The concept art shows this backpack. I think it just came in the Battle Pass, so you could put it with any character, but I'm pretty sure the concept art had this with her. And you can see that they're just mixing it in the boxes. A lot of it, for the most part, is pretty random. What is that, a walkie-talkie? That's cool. They got a little walkie-talkie in there. And they do have some color here, which makes it pop. You got the red and the metal, and then the buckles here. And that looks good. And I think it looks just like the game. So they did a good job with those finer details. And again, here's the stand. It's got 2 pegs, not just one. And this is for if you put them in a stance. They got these hinges on the toes. This articulation here, where actually that one won't even bend. Wow, I don't even want to break that. Imagine. I'd have to... All right, that was a little stuck, but just be careful with them. If they wear out a little, I noticed the Skull Trooper right away. His hinges were worn out to where when you'd set him down, his body weight would just lean him forward because of that articulation given out. And again, I will go over the articulation in the Megapath Presents video if you want to check that out. But I just got to say, they did a fantastic job with the articulation. Now, I think they're trying to mimic butterfly joints here. However, it doesn't give you as much movement as, you know, a standard butterfly joint. But it helps a lot. It really does. And having a double joint here under the neck and then in the chest on both of them gives it a lot of range of motion. I mean, you can have... She looks so creepy. I love the way that this one looks. You can have her just looking down ashamed and then slowly and creepily stare at you. Yeah. They did a good job, though. I mean, look at the paint and the sculpt work. You got the buttons in the back. You have her bandana. And the paint, too. It's not just like one flat pink. You have the 2 tones of pink where it highlights it. It gives it that fur look. You have a darker and then a lighter type of pink all mixed in. And then here's her arm numbers. It says XOXO on it. What does his say? It's just like a line, like a beeper or something. And then her boots, this is like a metallic looking paint to it. Really fitting for the Cuddle team leader. Looks great. You got her shin guard. And again, is there a little scuffing on the shin guard? Yes, there is. They painted, I don't know how well that's showing up, but they painted some scuffing. The light is getting in the way. Yeah, they did a great job. And again, all of it is double jointed. The legs, the arms, I mean, that's incredible. And then the hip, the waist, I mean, the chest, the waist. Yeah, so first look at McFarlane Toys' new Fortnite figures, and I gotta say, if they were making the Walking Dead figures right out the gate when the Walking Dead was on and popping, and they went from 5 to 7 inch, fans would have been raging still. Except if you went with this type of articulation, I don't think the fans would have raged at all. They would have been like, "Ooh, you got that." This is probably one of, or these are probably one of, if you don't like the franchise Fortnite, you're probably not going to want to admit it or agree with me, but these are probably some of the best, the far superior figures that McFarlane Toys has ever made, and I just question why they haven't been doing this sooner. I have no clue. Anyway, again, we'll look over the articulation over at Megapath Presents, but just wanted to show you guys this and let you know not to go to GameStop. I mean, oh my God, I'm stupid. Not to go to eBay and pay more than $25. I think it's even free shipping. You go to GameStop, don't quote me on that, but you can order them right now. A couple days later, they show up at your house. Don't overpay. All right, guys, leave your thoughts and opinions about these down in that comment box. Are you copping them? Me personally, I would rather buy a $25 figure that comes with the back bling, the weapon, and the harvesting tool than spend somewhere between, what, it would be 25 on the low end, upwards of $40 to $50 buying all that stuff in the game just for a digital skin. I know me personally, if they come out with really cool skins, I'm buying them in figure form for the shelf, and I'm not going anywhere near digital. So I don't know why they didn't include some V-Bucks in the packaging. I gave that up as an idea a while back, and I think they really should have done that. All right, thoughts and opinions down below.